You say yes before your body has time to say no. Your smile appears automatically. Your voice becomes soft, agreeable, easy to approve of, while a small tightness forms somewhere behind your ribs. And even though nobody forced you, you walk away feeling quietly trapped. Why does being nice sometimes feel like betraying yourself? At first, niceness looks beautiful. It looks mature. It looks kind. It looks like emotional intelligence, patience, forgiveness, and the ability to stay calm when other people become difficult. But beneath the surface, there is a hidden version of niceness that has almost nothing to do with love. It is fear wearing good manners. Have you ever confused peace with silence? This is the psychological trap of being too nice. Not kind. Not compassionate. Too nice. The difference matters because kindness has a spine. But niceness often tries to survive by becoming smaller. Kindness says, your feelings matter, and mine do too. Too much niceness says, your feelings matter, so mine must disappear. Can you feel the difference? Your brain does not learn this pattern by accident. It usually learns it slowly. A parent gets angry when you disagree. A teacher praises you for being easy. A friend withdraws love when you say no. A partner becomes cold the moment you express a need. And somewhere along the way, your nervous system makes a dangerous calculation. Being agreeable is safer than being honest. What happens when safety and self-erasure start to feel like the same thing? B.F. Skinner, the psychologist known for operant conditioning, showed that behavior becomes stronger when it is rewarded. Operant conditioning simply means your brain repeats actions that seem to bring approval, relief, or escape from punishment. So when you stay quiet and someone smiles, your brain records it. When you apologize first and the tension disappears, your brain records it. When you say yes and nobody gets disappointed, your brain records it. Over time, niceness stops being a choice and becomes a reflex. Is it really generosity if your body feels punished for choosing anything else? This is why the trap feels so confusing. People praise you for it. They call you thoughtful. They call you low maintenance. They say you are so easy to be around, which can sound like love, but may also mean you have become convenient. The world often rewards the version of you that needs the least. And the more you are rewarded for having no edges, the more dangerous your edges begin to feel. When did being lovable start to mean being effortless for everyone else? Now look at the moment it happens. Someone asks for a favor. Your calendar is already full. Your energy is already gone. Your mind instantly says no, but your mouth says, of course. Then comes the second trap, relief. For a few seconds, the anxiety drops because nobody is upset. The room stays calm. The relationship stays smooth. But later, alone, resentment begins to rise like smoke under a closed door. Why does the yes feel good for 5 seconds and heavy for 5 days? That delayed resentment is not proof that you are selfish. It is information. Resentment often appears when a boundary was needed but never spoken. A boundary is not a wall to punish another person. It is a line that tells the truth about what your nervous system can actually carry. When you ignore that line long enough, your body begins to keep score for you. Fatigue becomes the first message. Irritation becomes the second. Emotional numbness becomes the third. What is your body trying to say when your mouth keeps being polite? Leon Festinger, the psychologist behind cognitive dissonance, described the mental discomfort that appears when your actions clash with your inner truth. Cognitive dissonance simply means one part of you believes something, while another part behaves against it. You believe your time matters, but you give it away. You believe your needs are valid, but you hide them. You believe honesty is important, but you perform agreement to avoid tension. And because the human mind hates contradiction, it starts inventing explanations. Maybe it was not a big deal. Maybe being tired is normal. Maybe good people do not complain. But how many excuses can your mind create before your identity starts to bend? This is where being too nice becomes quietly addictive. Not because it brings joy, because it brings immediate relief. It protects you from the sharp discomfort of disappointing someone in the present. Even if it creates a heavier pain in the future, your brain chooses the smaller fire it can see right now. The bigger fire waits in your chest. This is the same pattern behind many avoidance habits. A difficult conversation is delayed. A boundary is swallowed. A truthful message is rewritten until it sounds harmless. And the short-term calm teaches your brain to avoid honesty again. What kind of life gets built when discomfort becomes the enemy? Solomon Asch showed something similar in his famous conformity experiments. In those studies, People often gave an obviously wrong answer when the group around them gave that wrong answer first. Conformity means changing your behavior or opinion to stay accepted by the group. The frightening part was not that people lacked intelligence. The frightening part was that belonging can become stronger than truth. In daily life, your version of the Ash experiment may not happen in a laboratory. It happens at dinner. It happens in group chats. It happens in meetings. It happens when everyone laughs at a joke that hurts you, and your face smiles before your values can object. How often do you agree with the room just to avoid becoming the problem in the room? Too much niceness is often a social costume. You wear it to avoid rejection. You wear it to avoid conflict. You wear it because some part of you learned that being fully visible is risky. Carl Rogers, the psychologist who helped shape humanistic therapy, believed that people suffer when the self they show the world becomes too different from the self they truly experience. Inside, this gap is called incongruence. In plain English, it means your outer personality and inner reality stop matching. You look calm, but you feel angry. You look generous, but you feel drained. You look forgiving, but you feel unseen. How long can a person live as a performance before the performance starts feeling like a prison? The most painful part is that too nice people are often not trying to manipulate anyone. They are trying to prevent pain. They scan faces. They notice tiny shifts in tone. They sense disappointment before it is spoken. This can look like empathy, but sometimes it is hypervigilance. Hypervigilance means your nervous system stays on high alert, searching for signs of threat. In childhood, that alertness may have protected you. In adulthood, it may turn ordinary conversations into emotional surveillance. You are not just listening, you are monitoring. Is that connection, or is that survival? So reconstruct what happens in your brain when someone asks for something you do not want to give. First, your body detects possible conflict. Your heart rate changes. Your stomach tightens. Your face prepares a friendly expression. Then your mind predicts consequences. They might be disappointed. They might think you are rude. They might leave. Then your old training activates. Be pleasant. Be useful. Be easy. And before your real preference reaches language, the approved version of you takes control. Is the answer coming from your values or from your fear of losing approval? This is why just say no can sound simple but feel impossible. A boundary is not only a sentence. It is a nervous system event. To say no, your brain must tolerate another person's disappointment without treating it as danger. That requires practice. It requires new evidence. It requires learning that tension is not the same as abandonment. When you are too nice, the real skill is not becoming harsh. The real skill is staying connected to yourself while someone else feels uncomfortable. Can you remain kind without becoming available for everything? There is also a darker side. Some people notice the too nice pattern and use it. They learn that guilt opens you. They learn that silence pressures you. They learn that disappointment makes you full. This is not always dramatic. It can be a sigh, a pause, a cold message, a sentence like, "After everything done for you." These are emotional levers. And if your identity depends on being seen as good, those levers become powerful. What can control you more easily than the fear of being called selfish? This is where the word selfish becomes a psychological weapon. Healthy selfishness means protecting enough energy to remain alive, honest, and emotionally present. Destructive selfishness means using other people while ignoring their humanity. Those are not the same thing. But when you are trapped in too much niceness, your brain may treat both as identical. A simple boundary feels like cruelty. A quiet preference feels like betrayal. A request for space feels like abandonment. So you sacrifice yourself to prove you are not selfish, and then quietly resent the people who accepted the sacrifice. What if the resentment is not a character flaw, but the return of a self you abandoned? The counterintuitive truth is this: being too nice can make you less loving, not more, because love needs honesty to breathe. Without honesty, every yes becomes contaminated by hidden anger. Every favor becomes an invisible contract. Every smile carries a secret invoice. You may tell yourself you expect nothing in return, but some hidden part of you may be waiting to be noticed, rescued, appreciated, or finally chosen. Then when nobody notices the cost, the pain becomes proof that nobody cares. But did they ignore your needs? Or did you train them not to see any? This is not about blaming you. It is about seeing the pattern cleanly. If you have spent years being rewarded for self-abandonment, directness will feel unnatural at first. Your first honest no may shake. Your first boundary may sound too soft. Your first request may come with an apology attached. That is not failure. That is your nervous system learning a new language. What would happen if honesty became a skill instead of a threat? Start with smaller truths, not dramatic confessions, not sudden emotional explosions. Small truths, not today. The answer needs a little time. That does not work. Your disappointment makes sense, and the answer is still no. Each sentence teaches your brain that disagreement can happen without collapse. Each sentence builds a new memory. Each sentence separates kindness from obedience. Can you let someone be disappointed without rushing to rescue them from the feeling? This is the modern mirror. Your phone rewards instant availability. Work culture praises burnout as dedication. Social media trains you to manage how everyone perceives you. Text messages create the illusion that every request deserves immediate access to your attention. So your old niceness pattern gets upgraded into a daily lifestyle. You respond while exhausted. You soften every opinion. You add smiling emojis to sentences that should have been clear. You keep yourself easy to consume. But a life built around constant accessibility is not intimacy. It is emotional customer service. When did your peace become something other people could schedule over? The way out is not becoming cold. It is becoming real. Real kindness can disappoint people. Real kindness can say no. Real kindness can leave a conversation before resentment takes over. Real kindness respects another person's feelings without becoming responsible for regulating them. That last part is important. You can care about someone's emotions without making yourself the solution to those emotions. You can listen without obeying. You can love without dissolving. What kind of relationships remain when the false yes disappears? Some relationships may become stronger. Those people wanted your truth, not just your compliance. Other relationships may become tense. Those people may have benefited from your lack of boundaries. That tension will teach you something. Not every connection deserves unlimited access. Not every disappointed person is a victim. Not every conflict is a sign that something has gone wrong. Sometimes, conflict is simply the sound of your real self entering the room. Can you allow that sound without apologizing for existing? The psychological trap of being too nice is that it feels moral while it slowly removes you from your own life. It offers approval in exchange for self-silencing. It offers safety in exchange for resentment. It offers belonging in exchange for invisibility. But your nervous system was not designed to be a public utility. Your emotions were not designed to be hidden forever behind a pleasant face. Your needs are not interruptions. They are data. They are signals. They are proof that there is still someone inside trying to participate in your life. Will you keep calling that person selfish, or finally call that person honest? So, the next time someone asks for more than you can give, pause. Let the old fear rise. Let the smile wait. Let the approved version of you stand at the door without handing it the keys. Then ask the quiet question your nervous system was never allowed to ask. What is true? Not what keeps everyone calm. Not what makes you look good. Not what prevents disappointment. What is true? Because the moment you can answer that without abandoning yourself, niceness stops being a cage and becomes a choice. And now, when you say yes, your body finally has time to say no.